family. Today we are decoding one of the most misunderstood teachings in Christianity, Paul's message about warfare. Religion took Paul's words and built an entire industry of fear, all-night warfare, fighting witches, stomping on Satan, die by fire prayers, deliverance drama, external enemies everywhere. Yet Paul never taught any of that. Paul was speaking of a warfare that is not outward but inward, a warfare of consciousness, not demons, a warfare of identity, not spiritual creatures flying in the sky. Let's decode it. The weapons of our warfare are not carnal. Religion said this means you cannot fight spiritual demons with physical things. Wrong. Paul meant something entirely different. Carnal is the lower consciousness, ego, the unawakened mind. Weapons symbolize tools of awareness. Warfare is the internal journey of awakening from spiritual sleep. The fight is not outward. The fight is not against a being called Satan. The fight is not with demons hiding in your room. Paul is saying, your transformation will not come by physical effort, rituals, or performance. The work is inner. No amount of screaming, fasting, oil, salt, vigils, fire prayers, midnight crusades can change a person who has not awakened internally. That is why he said, your weapons are not carnal, not external, not physical, not ritualistic, but mighty through God. Religion told you, this means God will fight for you. But Paul is saying something deeper. Through God is through your God nature, your inner identity. Mighty is effective, powerful. Through means from within you, meaning your inner identity, once awakened, becomes your power. Christ in you, not a Christ floating in the sky, is the source of victory. Once identity awakens, ego collapses naturally. Addictions lose power naturally. Fear dissolves naturally. Anxiety fades naturally. No warfare needed, just awakening to the pulling down of strongholds. Religion said strongholds were witches, demons, generational curses, ancestral spirits. But Paul explains his own meaning in the next line. Strongholds symbolize mental constructs. Strongholds are false beliefs about God and self. Strongholds are identity illusions. Strongholds are the ego narratives that hold you captive. The only stronghold is ignorance, not a demon. What keeps people bound is not spiritual enemies. It is the belief that they are separated from God, casting down imaginations. This is the part religion never decoded. Paul is talking about mental images, assumptions, inherited teachings, false doctrines, religious beliefs, distorted self-perception. Casting down imaginations means dismantle every lie the ego has built about who you are and who God is. Imaginations symbolize the illusions the unawakened mind creates. People weren't fighting demons. They were fighting their own thoughts, but blamed an external Satan. And every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of God. High thing is elevated thought. Exalt means stands above. Knowledge of God is Christ in you, your divine identity. Meaning, Anything in your mind that tries to contradict your true identity must be dismantled. Meaning, your real warfare is no self-worth, fear of punishment, religious guilt, the idea of separation, the belief that you are unworthy, the thought that God is angry, the illusion that God is far away. These are the real enemies of your soul, not witches, not demons, not Satan. Bringing every thought into captivity to the obedience of Christ. Religion said, make your mind obey Jesus. But Paul means something more mystical. Christ is awakened consciousness. Obedience is alignment. Captivity is integration. Meaning, let every thought come under the truth of your divine identity. Your thoughts must align with, I am one with God. I am not separate. Christ is in me. I am light. I am complete. I am blessed. I am divine expression. That is obedience to Christ. Not ritual, not morality, not performance. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood. Religion told people, you're fighting witches, demons, marine spirits. But Paul says the opposite. Flesh and blood symbolize people. Not against means stop blaming humans. Paul is saying, your problem is not people. Your problem is the unconscious ego that rules the world. So instead of fighting your neighbor, praying against enemies, calling people witches, fighting imaginary demons, Paul says, your battle is inside you, not out there. Religion twisted inner warfare into outer warfare. Because people didn't understand metaphors like darkness, weapons, strongholds, principalities, imaginations, high things, they externalized them. This birthed flogging Satan with belts, shouting at the air, binding spirits every midnight, die by fire prayers, all-night warfare, seeing demons everywhere, blaming external witchcraft for internal chaos. But the truth is, the only devil Paul talked about is ignorance. The only witch is the unawakened mind. The only enemy is the false identity. If people understood Paul, there would be no fear-based Christianity. Instead of fighting demons, curses, spirits, enemies, people would learn to fight illusions, ego, inherited beliefs, limiting identities, false doctrines. And they would win through awakening, not warfare. Paul's warfare message is simply this: awaken your identity. Cast down every lie that denies Christ in you. Your mind is the battleground, not the sky. No demon is fighting you, ignorance is. And the cure is awareness, not warfare.